The forgotten truth: Ethan Grayson had always been a man of precision. As a forensic accountant, his job was to find the cracks in financial statements, the hidden numbers that told stories people didn't want to be told. But when he took on the case of a small yet suspicious firm in Boston, he never expected to uncover a mystery that would threaten his own life. It started with an email and anonymous tip warning him about Evergrove Investments. The company, on paper, was legitimate, but something about its financials felt off. As Ethan dug deeper, he noticed a pattern: large, inexplicable cash withdrawals, shell accounts that looped into one another, and offshore transactions with firms that barely existed. He flagged the irregularities and, out of curiosity, decided to look into Evergrove's board of directors. One name caught his eye: Richard Vail. Vail wasn't just a businessman, he was a ghost. No online presence, no past records, no traces of his existence before 2010. Ethan's gut told him this wasn't a coincidence, so he made a call to his contact in the FBI, an old college friend, Jenna Cole. Her response sent a chill down his spine. "Ethan, whatever you're looking into, stop. Now." The line went dead. Ethan knew better than to ignore a warning like that, but curiosity outweighed caution. He dug further, tracing financial trails and company transactions until he found something terrifying. Evergrove was a front. A front for what? He didn't know yet, but it was laundering millions through fake business deals. Then, the accident started. First, his apartment was broken into, but nothing was stolen. A warning. Next, his car's brake lines were cut, a near-fatal accident that left him rattled. Finally, an unmarked letter arrived at his office. Inside was a single sheet of paper with 3 words scrawled in red ink: "Leave it alone." Ethan considered it. He truly did. But then, a woman showed up at his door. Mira Vail. Richard Vail's daughter. She was terrified. "They killed my father," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Evergrove wasn't his company. He was set up. Mira claimed her father had been working with someone he trusted when he realized Evergrove was a cover for something much darker. When he threatened to expose them, he vanished. Officially, he died in a car accident, but Mira didn't believe it. She had proof that his death was staged. "He told me if anything happened to him, I should find you." Ethan wasn't sure whether to feel honored or horrified. Before he could process it, someone shot at them through his apartment window. He barely managed to drag Mira to safety. That was it. Ethan knew he had no choice but to see this through. With Mira's help, Ethan followed the money trail to its true source, an international smuggling ring, using Evergrove to launder their dirty money. The deeper they went, the clearer it became that the people behind this weren't just criminals, they were powerful. Politicians, corporate executives, even law enforcement. This was bigger than he'd imagined. The closer they got to the truth, the more dangerous it became. Jenna, his FBI contact, had stopped answering his calls. Ethan had a feeling she was either being silenced or she was in on it. Desperate, he turned to a journalist friend, Oliver Reed, to expose the story. Oliver agreed, but warned him, "You're up against people who don't lose." Then Mira disappeared. Ethan found her apartment ransacked, her phone shattered on the ground. No sign of a struggle, but enough to tell him she hadn't left willingly. Panic gripped him. He had pushed too far. And now Mira was paying the price. He needed to act fast. If she was still alive, they would use her as leverage against him. He made a bold move. He called Evergrove's CEO, pretending to have the documents that could ruin them. "I'll trade," he said, "Mira for the files." To his surprise, they agreed. The meeting was set in an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. It was a trap, he knew it, and so did Oliver, who insisted on coming with a hidden camera. But Ethan had an ace up his sleeve. As the trade commenced, the truth unraveled in the most unexpected way. Mira wasn't a victim, she was part of it. The moment she was freed, she turned the gun on Ethan. "I'm sorry," she whispered, "but you were never supposed to get this far." Betrayal cut deeper than any bullet. Before Mira could pull the trigger, Oliver tackled her, and chaos erupted. Gunshots, shouts, and then sirens. Jenna arrived with an FBI task force, storming the warehouse and arresting Evergrove's executives. She had been undercover the entire time, waiting for the right moment. Mira was taken away, her true role in the operation still unclear. Ethan stood in the wreckage, heart pounding, realizing he had narrowly escaped death. The truth was out now. The world would know what Evergrove really was. But at what cost? As he walked away from the scene, Jenna caught his arm. "You did good," she said. "But don't think this is over. People like this, they don't forget." Ethan nodded. He knew she was right. The truth had come out, but the fight was far from over. 3 weeks later, Ethan was trying to return to normal life when a package arrived at his door. Inside was a flash drive labeled, "Truth is Never Forgotten." He plugged it into his laptop, his heart hammering. The drive contained encrypted files and a video. He clicked play. It was a grainy recording of Mira in a dark room. "Ethan," she said, her voice steady, "you only uncovered part of the truth. They let you expose Evergrove because it was expendable. But the real power, the real money, it's still out there, and they know your name now." The video ended abruptly, but the screen didn't go dark. Another file auto-opened a scanned document. Ethan's breath hitched as he read the words. Project Revenant Phase 2 initiated. Attached were blueprints, government contracts, a network of offshore accounts far larger than Evergrove's, and at the bottom of the page, a name that sent ice through his veins. Jenna Cole. Before Ethan could react, his apartment lights flickered. A knock at the door made him freeze. He checked the peephole empty hallway, but when he turned back to his laptop, a new message flashed on the screen. "You were warned." Then the power cut out. Ethan's pulse pounded. He wasn't alone, and he wasn't safe. He had thought it was over. But this was just the beginning. A new city, a new identity. Ethan had no choice but to disappear. But as he sat in a dimly lit motel room in Chicago, he realized something terrifying. He could run, but he would never be free. Jenna had been a friend, but was she really his ally? Or had she been controlling the game all along? A single message appeared on his burner phone. "We always finish what we start." Ethan swallowed hard. He had a choice: keep running or turn around and fight. He took a deep breath, cracked his knuckles, and opened his laptop. If they thought he was done, they were dead wrong. This wasn't over. Not even close.